Hello guys, we are back with another Leetcode problem. Today's day 18. Let's try to solve today's problem. And today's problem is pretty good. It's a easy, but it's a implementation type question, and it's a highly liked. So you have a given a long flower bed in which some of the plot are planted and some are not. However, flower cannot be planted in adjacent plot. Okay, so it's also followed the COVID guidelines. Given an integer array flower bed containing zeros and ones, where zeros means empty and ones means non-empty, so an integer n return if n new flower can be planted in flower bed without violating the no adjacent flower rules. So let's understand the question with the example 1. You have given a flower bed and you have to planted n number of new flower into this flower bed. So you have a one flower and you have to embed, you have to plant it into this flower bed. So you have to plant this n number of flower in a such a way it not violating the given constraint. The given constraint is uh, no adjacent flower, means we can't put we can't plant new flower here because it's violating the case of the adjacency. We don't we have given we can't plant new plant in adjacent to another flower, so that's why I'll planting here. If I planting here, it's not violating the case, and so in that case I'll give it true. So you have given n is equal to 2 in that case, and you have to plant two flower in this flower bed, and one flower you can flower plant the flower here, but another flower you can't able to plant in that case without violating the given constraint. So in that case what I give, our answer will be false. So it's a pretty simple question, but we have to make some constraint here. Let's go with the code and try to solve this problem. Let's assume, okay, what I observe here, when that the case is happen, when my left side have planting by the flower and my right side also planting by flower, and we got a maximum consecutive zeros. In that case what I do, uh, I'll just try to find out how many new plant can be planted here without violating the case. I know I'm not able to plant here flower and here, but I planted here. Let's copy this code and paste it here for your better understanding. So in that case I'm able to only planting one. If not that case, if it's this case, we have given a 5 flowers, 5 empty cell. So how many number of and I can plant? I can plant one flower here and one here. It's not violating the case. If I have only 4 places to plant the new plant flower, so I can't, I can only put one new flower because maybe here or here only one. I'm not able to put two flower in that case, but this place is empty. But if this place is empty, I can put two flower, one is here and one is here. So one thing I notice here, if the case, if it's on the case of in the mid, I can do another manipulation. if if my first index is 0, so it contains some another manipulation. If as similar, if my last index is 0, so it means contain another type of manipulation. So I'll try to make divide my flower bed in 3 part. One segment is like my first it doesn't have, it contains some zero. If it contain one spot is empty, so I have do some manipulation for it. Let assume I have a such type of given string. So in that case, what I do computation for this part separately, and I'll do the computation for this part separately, and I'll do computation for this part again separately. If this is not available, if that na case, if this is not case, so it's violating the our case. So my first part is skip. I'll put some condition over there. So let's try to make, so I make a count variable which going to count how many zeros is, how many consecutive zeros is present. And I made another variable which going to store ans, it means it going to store how many number of maximum flower we can plant into the flower bed. And I'll made a, I'll initialize I. uh, so my first condition is that, okay, flower bed is a long name, so I'll just made it a, it's simply denoting the array of zeros ones, so that's why I'll just put the name a for my sake of convenience, for not writing a flower bed again and again. It's a little lengthy for writing purpose. So what I do, I have to I have to check one condition. If my first element, this I starting from the 0, okay, if if my first, if my first index is 0, it means I have to do some computation. This is the case when maybe this one the case, or it can be like this this the case. So how I have to do separately manipulation until this one, I have to do a computation until this one separately. So what I do, uh, I do computation I greater than uh, a dot size I plus, whenever, if ai equal to 0, it means it's consecutive zeros, so I have to enhance my count, number of count of if it's not the case, it means ai is equal to 1. In that case, what I do, I have to break this loop here and do the computation here. So what I do here, uh, hmm, uh, in that case what I do, I have to make some computation. Let's, this is a case, let's my, I have a odd number of zeros in that case. So how many places I can plant? Only there is a one place I can plant here, new plant, or maybe here. But if it's a odd, if it's the odd case, even case, so I can plant two plant here, over here, one here and one here. If it's the, I enhance the size one more, so in this case I can also only plant two plant here, one is here or maybe here, or another fashion too, I can plant maximum two. So so it like, if my cnt modulo 2 is equal to 0, okay, not the case. If this is a even, if there is a only 3, so if I divided by 2, it give me 1, so it means I planted 1. If there is a 4 consecutive zeros, in that case 4 divided by 2, I got 2, and in that case I'll plant 2 new plants. So it's a little bit easy manipulation. What I do, I'm only do, I have to answer, I have to add it on my answer variable. What I added, I'll add it only count divided by 2 on that. After doing, I'll just make uh, reinitialize my count is equal to 0, and after that I break it, the loop. And in this point of time, my I have some values and it break it down, and it's pointing to the first one. Let's say it pointing this one. So I have to start my computation to till until here, or maybe here. It's up to me, until the last index. Okay, until the last index I have to do my computation. So it's the first case, first condition, when I have initial zeros. If not the case, what I do, I simply I can write I is equal to I, and I greater than a dot size minus 1. Actually, I'm not taking the last element, because I have to check for if this is, if it present 1, so I have to do another type of computation. If it present 0, I have to do another type of computation. So I can do the computation till here, and after that I have to check if it is 0, I'll do some manipulation more. If this is 1, I do another manipulation. For our sake of ease, I just uh, I sake of ease I left my 1. I'll do the computation till next last. Okay, so that's I do. Let's enhance the workspace a little bit, and let's see. So, and here if I write I is equal to I, it not make some sense, so I just remove here. It kinda work too. So what I do after that, if I got my a is equal to I equal to 1, in that case, else if ai is equal to 0, what I do, I have to only enhance the size. If I got my cnt ai is equal to 1, in that case, what I have to do, okay, in that case what I have to do, uh, I have to check. Let's say if that's the case, I got, I'm reaching to this one, and there is a size of 0 is 2. In that case, I can't able to add one more new plant. But if this is 3 zeros, in that case I can plant a new plant in that case. Okay, so I have to very carefully I write, if my cnt is greater than my 3, I do the computation. If it less than, I just skip that part. And in that case, I have to check if ai, sorry, if my cnt modulo 2 is equal to 0. Let's say there is a 4. In that case, I can plant only one plant here. I can't plant two. I can be plant here, or I can be plant here. There is only two possibility, and I have only plant one. So in that case, if I got cnt, so what I do, I have to add it into my answer, cnt divided by 2, but I have to minus 1. If there is a, if there is a 4, so if divided by 4 by 2, I got 2. But in the, if even case, I'll, in that case, if I have a 4 maximum consecutive zeros, in that case, cnt divided by 2 is 2. But how many new plant we can plant in that case? Only one. So that means I have to subtract it by minus 1 on my side. Okay, if not the case, I've simply, what I do, I'll just cnt divided by 2. If it is a, if this is a 3, so I can plant 1 in the middle of that. And how can I get this? If cnt divided by 2, I got 1. So that's pretty work well. And as the part is also done, and after that, okay, I just miss out one more condition. Let's assume if not the case, I have a this type of flower bed, it not plant any. So in that case what I get, my count never break, my count never initialize to 0. In that case I have to check, and I is going out of bound. If my I equal to my a dot size, means a what is so it shows, it goes out of bound. It means my all element, or it means it doesn't have any plant it, new flower it. So it means I can plant, there's all space are empties. So in that case I have a more space. So in that case what I do, actually I just return it from, because I'll just check out all the things. So in that case I have to check if my cnt modulo 2 is equal to 0. In that case I'll do another type of manipulation. If it's it's 1, so I'll do another type of manipulation. If my cnt is equal to 0, in that case what I do, let's assume I have a, let's say I have a 4. So there's only two possibility, I can plant one here and one here. If it's odd, so I can plant one here, one here, and one here. So it's pretty much obvious. If there is a 4, if 4 divided by 2, I can plant only 2 in this case, and it's also giving me 2. So in my cnt is equal to, what I do, I have to return if my cnt divided by 2 is greater equal to my n. Cnt divided by 2, it shows the maximum number of flower we can plant into the flower bed, and n denoting the how many we want to plant, how in, and what's actually question asked to plant into the flower bed, how many flower. So that's denoting n, and how many, how maximum number of flower we can plant it into the flower bed. So that's the, if it's greater I'll just return it true, otherwise it's going to return false in that case. If else case, if I have only 3 plant, what I actually show, it's actually so, if divided by 3 divided by 2, it's only plant, we can plant only 1. No, we can plant 5, 2, 1 is here, 1 is here. If there is a 5, so how many plant we can plant, 5 divided by 2, it's give me 2. But no, we can plant 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, it means I can plant 3. So in that case what I do, I'll just do return cnt divided by 2 plus 1, I'll edit 1 in my side, okay, and greater equal to n. So this is for the special case, and it might be work, it might not work, not come, sorry. So let's come to our last case. So this loop is going to do the computation till here, okay, this is going to do the computation till here, because if until this 0, it has 0 0, it means it not doing count, have some values in that case, okay. If this is 1, and then this part of the question is already done by this loop, because if last element, this element is 1, so it going to break it here, and this kind of work, okay. And I have to return in that case cnt is equal to 0, I didn't do that. So it's cnt is equal to 0, and I have only one element left, I have to do my own computation here. So there is only one case is left, if this is a last 0 0 0, and it depend on that. If it's 1, so what I do, I have to just check for this. If this is 0, I have to do the computation same like here. So I have to check if my, let's, ai, this ai, it's actually denoting the my last index. Ai is equal to, if ai is equal to 1, so what is actually mean, if this ai is equal to 1, so if this ai is equal to 1, or I'll also write my else part 2. Okay, if this ai is equal to 1, so I have to do the computation and between this of length. So if ai is equal to 1, so I have to check this cnt, I have to the computation cnt by 2. In that case it's a similar to the our previous ones, and in that case what I do, I have to going to enhance the one size here, and after that I'll just divide it by 2. It's a similar type of the thing which I done previously, so it's the same thing I'm done here too. Sorry, if it's a even, what I do, I have to subtract by this one in that case, or maybe I'll just copy this thing again, because it's the same thing I'm going to do, and I'll just write it here. If a is equal to I1, I'm going to do this computation. So it's a similar computation as the part. Yes, as the part, if my last element, if my last element is not going, sorry, I have to, ai is equal to 1, in that case I do this thing. This is else, and I'll write it here. Okay, this is my else part. If my ai last element is not equal to 0, in that case what I actually do, I'm going to again check if my cnt modulo 2 is equal to 0. I do some another computation, else I'm going to do another type of computation. So another type of computation, let's not make, because it's a sorry, okay, not going to make, if my ans divided cnt plus 1 divided by 2, is that the case, I have to only do one thing. If my ans greater equal to n, let me, after just completing this code, I'll explain it what I write it here, and let's run this code, guys. Let's submit this code, guys. That is accepted. So let me little bit explain you what I do in the last step. In the last step, let us have this on my last, this case is here. So if there is total 4 number of zeros, what I do, I divided, if I divided by 2, what I get, one is planting here and one is planting here. Okay, so there is only two possible to way, and let's do the completion. 4 count having the 4 plus 1, 5 divided by 2, we got 2 in that case too. If there is one more, there is a 5 places empty, so how many number of maximum, how many of flower we can plant? 3 plant, one is here, uh, one is here, one is here, and one is here. Sorry, 2 3 5. So how many plant we can plant? One is here and one is here. Okay, 1 1 3 to 5, 5 plus 1 by 6. Yes, we can plant 3 in that case. So that's it, it's pretty well. So if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section, I'll resolve your doubt.